So this is the assigned subject, which is Tempest,
Yes.
which
20.
everybody has struggled with this year, I think.
Well, I got the mic first, so I'll start on this one. I think it's a pretty good image. It, to me, seems maybe like some of the darker areas maybe could have been brought up a little bit. And the waves and that might be even a little over. So I guess maybe the exposure isn't as on as it could be. Otherwise, the composition's pretty good.
Crashing waves. $20.
The exposure is good here, and the stop action is nice. There's just no real focus to this image. You kind of wander around in it quite a bit. It's a little hot on the top. Really, it needs more of a focal point. You probably could have tightened up the cropping a little bit or something, and got closer into one particular area, so it would draw your eye in a little more. It's just a little too busy.
A storm is brewing. $25.
The exposure is spot on this one. I like the use of the rule of thirds in the composition of this image and focusing on the tunnel in the front. The clouds look a little heavy, so I would have lightened those up a little bit, but overall, good image.
After the storm.
Nice
21.
sky. Oh, I'm sorry. Nice sky in this image. It's a typical beach shot. It's kind of split down the middle. It might be a little bit above middle, but maybe could have varied one way or the other on that.
This leaf seems suspended in the air. $19.
It's a good idea. The main subject is out of focus, and there's just too much empty space around it. The dark areas in the corners add really nothing to the photo. I would have cropped that in a lot tighter, and it is pretty blurry. I don't know if it's a motion blur or if it's just out of focus, but it needs to be sharpened up.
Tempest and a teacup. $25.
I like the composition in this particular image. Good use of the subject in capturing the steam coming off of that hot cup of tea. The glasses are a little bit light, but overall well balanced.
Color run chaos. $26.
Very nice photo. The post-processing used on it, I think it added to it. It brought it out and kind of just made the whole thing look better than that actual event was already.
The Tempest and the teacup. $26.
This is pretty well exposed, and it's a great interpretation of the subject. Good catch lights in the eyes on the cat. The leg, the cat's paw and leg on the right-hand side of the picture are out of focus. Actually, the entire cat, for the most part, except his right on his face, is a little blurry. I think this needed more depth of field to make it a little sharper. Otherwise, it's pretty well composed and good exposure on the whites and the blacks.
Shining through angry clouds. $24.
Nice capture on the rays. Looks a little bit oversaturated. The clouds are a little bit blue, and your greens are a little bit heavy, but all around, nice in the vertical.
Lake Erie waves. $20.
Again, I have to say, the post-processing, I'm not sure if it did the best justice to the picture or not, but, it's a nice catch, as far as the timing, slowing down a little bit and bringing out some of the smoothness in the waves. Overall, a nice photo.
The calm before the storm. $18.
This is a little, actually quite hot up in here. This part really doesn't add much to the picture. I'd have cropped the sky completely out of that. Darken this area up some. We've got a reflection here, probably from glass. You're probably shooting this through a window, I would assume. And you've got a reflection there that could have been taken out in post-processing. And overall, there's a lot of noise and kind of graininess about this. A lot of color noise down in here in the water.
Surf before the storm. $24.
Nice stop action. The exposure on the water is spot on, but the surfer itself is a little dark, a little heavy. We could have brought that up, opening up our shadows a little bit, and you could have possibly brought down the highlights just to emphasize the surfer himself.
The morning of the tempest. $20.
Look at the color in that sky. Pretty nice. It's good to see that once in a while. Overall, I think the picture lacks in that there's not a lot of subject matter. I mean, it's certainly a beautiful sky, but for me, I don't have the real wow factor. I think the bottom portion is a little dark and may have been exposed a little bit better.
The way out. $28.
It's a nice graphic image, really leads your eye in here. You've got a kind of a thing going on over here that draws your eye over there. It adds some definite interest. But you look at the exposures in the shadows and in the highlights, everything looks really well exposed, real crisp, and everything leads your eye right into the main focal point of the picture.
High gale warning. 26.
This is a combination of a longer exposure to get that silkiness in the waves, but we're a little dark in the background because it's hot in the front. We could have opened up the shadows again to get some detail in here, and we're looking a little oversaturated in our rocks.
Water. $21.
I think it's a nice shot overall. The composition's, good with your foreground, and then certainly, your water coming with your trees in the background at a nice contrast.
I would have cropped that top off.
Yeah.
This would be a much more dramatic picture with all this red up here and the water without the sky above it. The sky adds nothing to this shot. I'd have cropped it tighter down here and down here and made it look like a panorama.
Yeah, agree.
Lake effect. $24.
This is a very cool idea, and it's pretty well executed. Something near and dear to our hearts, standing out in the snow. There's a little too much snow. I'd have stayed there and kept shooting this. The exposure is dynamite. You got good skin tones, and you got good exposure in the background. Good use of a fill flash, apparently. I'd have kept shooting this until there was a little less snow in the foreground. Some of these big globs in the foreground kind of detract from it, especially the one at the top in the upper left there. But otherwise, I think it's very well done. Yeah, and one right on his chin too. You could have taken 100 pictures here and picked a better one than this probably. It's certainly well done and a great idea.
Where's my home? $18.
The image definitely has impact, the devastation here, but what's lacking is exposure. We're a little bright, and there's no center focus point. Yeah, we can say we can land on the chimney, but you have all of this debris that's down at the bottom that's a little bit distracting.
What do you think about the green on the left there, Otis, and the blue sky? Does that take you away too?
This spot here?
Well, that whole area up there kind of shouldn't be that bright,
You could
should
have
it?
possibly cropped it here and put a vignette to darken it down to focus on the chimney, if that's where that artist wanted it to go. To focus on the chimney is adding a small vignette around here to darken it up so it draws your eye in. But with all of this debris down here, it's kind of hard to land on one item.
Yeah, and I think all the bright sunlight and blue sky detracts from what the overall mood of the picture is supposed to be. I think if you shot this on a gray, overcast day with a little more subdued lighting, it would have a little more emotional impact.
Or you can go to black and white would do that.
That's possible, yeah, that's possible.
Yeah.
Shocking storm. $21.
Doesn't everybody wish they could catch something like that, Except for I'd use the umbrella and I'd be the target. But, it is fun to shoot lightning. Kind of open up everything and just wait and hope that it hits when you're open and ready. So I think overall it takes a little bit of a technique and patience. So nice image.
The other option is there are lightning triggers by various companies, and you put it on the camera, and when the lightning strikes, it'll automatically open your shutter for you. That's another technique.
Brewing. $26.
This is a dynamite shot. It's very well done. Good leading lines, taking you right into, you know, a good spot in the frame. The clouds are nicely exposed. The only thing that bothered me about this was this area right here is too dark. I'd have gotten rid of that. Either cropped it out or done something to get rid of that dark area that kind of dry over that way. But again, you know, good exposure on the sky, good exposure on the leaves, good leading lines. Not much bad you can say about this, except this dark area down here is just a little too heavy.
Light in the storm. $26.
Another good exposed image. There's detail in the clouds, there's detail in the waves, there's detail in the rocks. The only problem that I see with this is there's not enough detail in the wave action here. If there was a little more detail there, I think that would have scored an easy 10.
Tropical squall approaching. $22.
Seems to me like maybe lacks a little bit of contrast, or like, I guess if I were possibly working on a picture like this, I would try for some structure or a little bit more contrast. It's offset, so you're not split down the middle, and the clouds are beautiful.
Fun at the falls.
On the last one, do you think a split neutral density filter would have made a difference?
Well, yeah.
It would have knocked the clouds down a little bit.
Yeah.
The only thing that what I'm seeing here is there's not a subject matter. If there was a foreground subject matter, it would have made this image a little bit stronger. You just have open ocean and the clouds. If there was something in the foreground to focus on, I think would have added a lot more to this image.
$21.
There's a lot to like about this picture. The title kind of says it all. I think the main subject of this picture is right here. You've got all this dramatic stuff going on back here, and all these people watching this and getting soaked, and here's this person here obviously not enjoying themselves at all. It really tells a story. It's a great photojournalism picture, and really that's the picture. I'd have cropped that tighter and got maybe some more of this out of here, and this is very distracting over here. Because here you can kind of tell these are all people wearing these raincoats, and this is just kind of a big pink blob over here. So I think this is a great idea, and it's a great photojournalism. Plus it's a little bit out of focus. She's really the main subject and out of focus. The focus is back in here somewhere. So either more depth of field or focus in on this. But I mean, there's a lot that could have been done with this to make it better. But it's a great composition. Just could have been a little better executed.
Would you have aimed the camera down a bit so that the shoe wasn't cut off on that person and kind of let them be more in the frame then?
Yeah, that would have definitely helped. But then you'd have cut the top of the falls off. I guess you maybe gone for a vertical with a wider lens or step back a little bit. Pointing the camera down, I think, would have removed some of the drama from up here.
Good point. Or just take a lower angle.
Good point.
Squat down and take a lower angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways you could have redone that. But
Nighttime storm approaching. $29.
Lots of impact. The clouds are dramatic. I like the colors in the clouds. The lightning strike capture is dead on. It all ties together, works real well together. And even the border around this one works.
Presque Isle State Park. $21.
Another shot of the beach, and it's a nice shot. I'm not sure that it really stays true to the title or the assigned subject of Tempest. I guess it's how it's interpreted, and I can't argue with the maker. Overall, the exposure is good on it, and a little bright up there in that left corner, where it's breaking through. And composition is good.
Gloucester, I don't know, Harbor Lighthouse, Gloucester. Is that what it is? $21.
Another one I'm not sure fits the theme as well as it could. It's a great idea, but again, it's all open to interpretation. But if there were dark, stormy clouds behind this, it would have been a lot more dramatic and fit the assigned subject a little better. But mainly, the subject is too far over to the left. You got your rule of thirds, or really the lighthouse should be over here a little more. You're drawn almost too far out of the picture with this, and it's a little over processed here. These rocks, a little too much saturation. It's a little phony looking.
No sailing today. $22.
Are you looking at color?
The image just appears to be a little bright, and that's why I wanted to look at the laptop to see if there was any significant difference between what's shown up on the screen and what's on the laptop. It just looks a little bright on the screen. Nice freeze action, a little over-processed in the rocks. They very well might be that way. Looking at the color of the water itself, it doesn't look like it's from Erie area at all, so well done though.
Sailor's warning.